Good morning, YouTube. So, in today's quick video, I want to discuss some of the real-life origins of Greek mythology, as some of these stories have changed my perspective on how I interpret the ancient world. So, to start off, one thing that always irritated me is how people always tend to say, "Oh, the Romans copied the Greeks," but they didn't. Okay, I mean, many ways they did, they totally did, but specifically not when it comes to their gods. Rome never just sat down one day and said, "Yo, bro, these Greek gods and shit, fire. Let's just take them, change their names, and convert every single person overnight without issue to a foreign religion. Yeah, that'd be sick." But you may also realize how remarkably similar these gods are, and for good reason, because they do actually share the same origin. The Proto-Indo-European people are an umbrella term for the linguistic ancestors of all of these countries. So whether you're Irish, Pakistani, or in this case Greek, your linguistic origins trace back to a single group some 6,000 years ago. And as language is intertwined with culture, art, religion, and more, we can find traces of this relationship throughout these nations. For example, the Proto-Indo-European peoples believed in the powerful sky god whose name is reconstructed as Deus Pater, which translates to Sky Father. As history has shown, language truly is a game of telephone, where over centuries words begin to change, especially due to accents and isolation from other groups. So, Deus Pater eventually evolved into the familiar Jupiter. Across the Mediterranean, a similar event happened to the Greeks, where Deus became Zeus. Even the Vikings worshipped their own sky father, known as Odin, who, although doesn't share a familiar name, is familiar in origin. More remnants of connections of these cultures are also found worldwide. In Proto-Indo-European mythology, a key part of the creation myth involves two divine twins, who are nurtured as children by a bull, where one is eventually killed or sacrificed, followed by the survivor founding the culture's society. Much like the twins Romulus and Remus, who are nurtured by a wolf instead of a bull, before Romulus kills Remus and founds a powerful society, the Roman Empire. Similar stories are also found in Slavic, Germanic, Anglo, Baltic, Celtic, and Indo-Iranian religions, and is one of the many reasons cows are seen as sacred in Hinduism today. If you're interested in learning more about the origins of pre-recorded history, like how Latvian and Sanskrit share similarities due to this heritage, I will link some cool sources below. Look at this fucking thing. Imagine for a moment you're an ancient Greek explorer navigating foreign lands and stumble across this. What could it possibly be? It's eerily familiar to a human skull, yet so much larger, and instead of two eye holes, just one. It's unlike anything you've seen before. Could this land be populated with massive one-eyed giants? Hurriedly, you return the skull back to your city-state to share with your people, where witnesses share stories of a giant one-eyed man across the oceans. And can you blame them? This thing is freaky, but congratulations, you have just discovered the skull of an elephant. Not that you would have seen one, as elephants are an ocean and a continent away, but frankly, I don't blame the ancient Greeks for sharing stories about a Cyclops. In their eyes, they had proof. I'm sure you're familiar with the ancient Greek myth of the labyrinth, populated by a half-man, half-bull creature called the Minotaur, a frightening yet famous story, which is based off a true event. Kinda. The Palace of Knossos, located on the island of Crete, was a grandiose palace built by the Minoan civilization, the first advanced civilization in Europe. This massive and intricate palace was built with long hallways, multiple levels, and elaborate decor. Unfortunately for the Minoans, it was reduced to ruins when the mainland Greeks rediscovered it hundreds of years later. There, they found the remnants of what looked like an elaborate maze, with countless frescoes, pottery, and statues of bulls all around the vicinity. Considering this palace was built on an island known for seismic activity, sometimes you could even hear sounds that are reminiscent of a bull expelling air. As you can imagine, history is much like a game of telephone. Generation after generation, story after story, imagining this island was populated by bullmen and seeing some proof for yourself doesn't seem so crazy. In fact, many scholars claim this land was responsible for the myth of Atlantis, a powerful civilization that predates Greece that has since fallen to ruin. One of the last fast examples of this game of telephone is the myth of Medusa. As Greek culture expanded and interacted across the ancient world, they began to have contact with regions like India, which had to worry about venomous snakes which can cause paralysis. They also learned that some of these snakes could be turned docile by snake charming. When describing their journeys, individuals would describe the places and people they saw, specifically noting the long hair many of these people possessed. So when stories of long-haired individuals having the ability to control snakes that could turn people stiff as stone arrived in ancient Greece, it had already mutated into stories of a woman who could control her long snake hair, of which could turn you into stone. Yo, what's up guys? Yas here. Quick editor's note. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for all the support. I'm now at, I think, 30 subscribers and have about 120 views in my last video. That's amazing. So if you're hearing this, thank you for making it all the way to the end. This video is not as long as the one before. It's actually a bit rushed, if you couldn't tell. I am passionate about this topic, but I didn't have any big video essay lined up. But I do want to keep up with weekly uploads. I don't want the YouTube algorithm to forget about me and stop putting me in people's recommended feeds, etc., etc. And I also want to make this a habit, because I do love doing it, but sometimes I get a little burnt out. So, I'm gonna go to bed. It was a very long night putting this together. This fucking 5-minute video took me so long, especially with this little dude. Don't know if I'm gonna keep this avatar, but I'm just rambling. I'm very thankful for everyone that has supported me. So, if you have any other YouTube video ideas, let me know in the comments below. And I'll see you in the next episode of Yas. Goodbye.